My name is Etta Maxey, and this is my video presentation for Lesson 22 on Code.org. In this puzzle, Puzzle 1, when you use the Move Forward block and the Get Nectar block, the bee will move forward, then collect the nectar. Because it has a repeat block and the repeat block has 5 in it, it will repeat 5 times, and the bee will collect all the nectar. In this puzzle, there is a code called Set Gather to blank. When you set the gather to 1 and you use the gather block in a repeat block, that's how many times the bee will get the nectar, 1 time. At the end of the code, when you set gather to gather plus 1, each time it will add 1 more gather, so the bee will get all the nectar. In this instruction, it shows you how to use a counter block. It explains each part and how it works to make the code. If there is nectar going up from 1 to 10, then use the counter block on the repeat nectar to get it from each flower. In this video, you will learn the basics of repeat blocks and their purpose and importance to make a code run smoothly. They make the code repeat the number of times you want them to. The for loop inside of the repeat block uses a counter variable. A counter variable starts at a number and counts to the next number listed in the loop. It will do it up to that many times and then do the action inside the loop. In Puzzle 5, you will answer a question about the answer the bee will complete. B is the answer because the bee will go from the first flower to the fourth flower and collect nectar from each one. It will not collect the last one because the code only goes from 1 to 4. In this puzzle, the bee is trying to collect nectar from 7 flowers, but at each flower it will have to collect 1 more nectar than the flower before. So this counter code counts from 1 to 7 by 1, getting more nectar each time when you repeat the Get Nectar code counter times. In this puzzle, Puzzle 7, the bee is collecting nectar from 5 flowers, each time getting 1 less nectar than before. The counter code is counting down instead of up because of the number of nectars at each flower. When you repeat the Get Nectar code counter times, it counts down from 5 each time. In this code, there are 4 flowers, each with 2 more nectars than the last. It starts with 1 nectar, then adds 2 more each time to get eventually to 7 nectars. For the counter code, you start at 1 and end at 7, adding 2 each time. You then repeat the Get Nectar code counter times. In this code, you are collecting nectar starting at 3, then counting up by 3 up to 15. First, you move forward, then to right, then move forward. Use the Get Nectar code counter times and turn left. This repeats each time until the end when you finally get to the 15. In this puzzle, you are getting nectar from 3 flowers, but in between each flower there is a bigger gap than the time before. So the counter variable is counting from 1 to 3, counting by 1 each time. You then repeat the move forward and Get Nectar codes counter times. In this puzzle, Puzzle 11, the counter is counting from 3 to 15 by 3. To start, you must turn left, move forward counter times divided by 3 each time. Then you get nectar counter times. In dividing counter by 3, each time it gets to the number of steps needed to move forward each time. For example, 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. And those are the first steps you must take to get to the flowers at the beginning of the puzzle. In the challenge puzzle, you are counting from 14 to 2 and counting down by 4. After turning right, the first step is to move forward counter times divided by 2 because each is half of the counter number. For example, 14 divided by 2 is 7 and 10 divided by 2 is 5. These are the number of steps you need to take to get to the first 2 flowers. You then get nectar counter times. In this puzzle, you are counting from 15 to 3 and counting down by 3. First, you must turn left, then move forward, turn right, and then move forward again. Then you have to get nectar counter times. This repeats until you get to the final flower. You are now done with this lesson. After learning 4 loops, you now know how to control your puzzles better and faster. This repeat loop controls how you start and finish and what's due throughout. if it should increase or decrease the number of times to complete the command. Thank you for listening to my presentation.